Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for joining me for my weekly guitar blog. It's July 6th, 2014, and this week we're going to do a lesson on early Motown rhythm guitar. Now, this week's question was sent in from Isaac. He's out in Syracuse, New York, and he wrote in with this email. I'm currently working on my rhythm guitar skills with a focus on the smooth guitar rhythms played in the early Motown classics. I'm mainly focused right now on the music of Marvin Gaye. His hits like What's Going On and Mercy Mercy Me have a really smooth sound. Can you demo some of these Motown rhythms as well as show a few of the most common chords? From Isaac in Syracuse, New York, USA. Well, hey, thanks for writing in, Isaac. The sounds of the early music of Motown and Marvin Gaye in particular are excellent areas of study for increasing any guitar player's overall smoothness with their skills for clean rhythm guitar. In this lesson, I'll break down the most popular types of grooves that you'll find on these early Motown recordings. I'll discuss the various rhythmic durations found in this music, and we'll look at some of the more common chord patterns, and I'll give out a few practice grooves that you can try out yourself at home that should help you to develop this very laid-back style of rhythm guitar. Well, first things first, let's run through some popular chord voicings you'll find used in the rhythm guitar playing of the early Motown style. A large degree of the chord voicings played in this style are major and minor triad chords that can be found off of the fourth string, played through to second string, sometimes up into first string as well. Now, I have examples that I want to run through which are extremely common, and I'd highly recommend getting as good as you can get with. We're going to start out with a major chord example. It's just a diagonal shape. I'm doing it off of an A here. So that's a major. If you want to convert it to minor, the major third is right there. Just drop it down a half step. It's dropping a C sharp to a C natural. And now you've got an A minor, but these shapes are universal. You can move them anywhere that you'd like. The next one I want to cover is a shape that goes like so here. It's kind of got a whole step between the two strings and then a half step up to the next string going higher. Now this in particular is an inversion of an F major chord. It's first inversion, A in the bass there, F major with A in the bass. It's a major chord though, and then when you drop it down with the bass note traveling, that's the third obviously, so we have a minor quality now. So this is a major quality, there's a minor quality, and in this case again it's a F major and F minor. And let's do one more. The next one's going to be really easy. It's just a bar chord shape for the major. You can tell that one's just going right across from fourth into the second string. Right across seventh fret here gives me the D major chord with the fifth in the bass, so there's an A in the bass. That's second inversion, triad inversion of the D chord. And if we want to convert that to minor, the top note is the major third. All we got to do is drop that down half step, put it on an F natural, and now you got D minor. Now, those are the chord shapes that I'm going to highly suggest that you get some really good work into, but I want to put these to use with some popular rhythm grooves that are found when you're playing this style of music. The first groove is a common half-note feel, and it's one that will work great to help you get used to the chord shapes that we've just covered, especially if those chords are new for you. Now, the first batch chords that I want to run through here are going to be a G chord moving down to a D, and then we're going to head to an A, and then we're going to come back into that D chord again. And remember, these are just half notes, so 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. You can get some nice slides in there. I guess you heard that one time there where I did some of these slides. Some stuff like, embellishments, basically. But those are just all on half notes. It's a really good way to get used to these chord shapes here, and it's a really nice, easy, laid-back sound too. Now the next idea is also a very straightforward rhythm groove that is once again used quite abundantly in this style. This groove applies chord shots upon the second and fourth beats of each measure, and it's another one that is very simple and very easy to perform. The trick, as with many other simple repetitive grooves, will be in not getting lost in the overall beat and, thus losing your spot in the harmony of the progression. So this example that I put together is a basic 1-4-5 in the key of D major. So we're going to start with that D major chord. We're going to have that going on for 2 measures. Remember, the punches occur on the second and fourth beats. So it's going to be like this. 1. So you have your downbeat, and then you're missing the third beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to head on down to a G chord. That's going to be covering frets 5, 4, and 3 from the fourth to the second string. And then we're going to move up into an A. So we're just taking that major quality shape, moving it up a whole step, and then we're going back to that bar chord shape for the D major. So that's D major, G major, A major, heading just like that. I'll count out the beats once through, and then I won't continue to count on the second pass. Here's how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's again. So there you go. It's a really nice sound. It's getting a little bit busier than those half notes, but still it's a pretty laid back style. And basically, you know, those are some of the more simple grooves. I think you can get a really good head start with going through those. You know, just watch out for any syncopation that might occur as you're studying and transcribing pieces off your favorite albums there. But and I think you're starting to get a really good idea for how all these slower filler parts operate within the common voicings I've covered from the start of the lesson. But next, I want to move on to introducing a more complex groove that you'll hear from some of the rhythm guitarists of the early Motown era. And this groove I have applies a busy scratch style 16th note pattern, sometimes referred to as a soul funk groove. This rhythmic pattern will take some work to bring up to a solid performance level, so I'd like to start slowly into this groove to help you better understand its feel and overall rhythmic meter. So I'm going to count through this. It starts off through the first beat. We have the downbeat of 1, so it's 1. We have the rest on the second 16th. We have a scratch feel on the upbeat of 1. So just going to attack it like that. We're going to do this maybe on one note. I'm going to maybe choose here this 4th string A note here, 7th fret. So we have 1 E and That's our first beat. And then 2 E and then the is the rest, the 2 is the rest. So it's just the inside part of that second beat, you know, where we have the 2 E and. And then we come in on the downbeat of 3 with a scratch sound. So it's 3 E and So we have that attack with the scratch on the first 16th as well as the last 16th of the third beat. And then on the 4th beat, we have those 2 16th notes coming in on the front end. And then we have that, you know, rest, that 8th note rest on the end there. So it's that's the feel of it. You can basically alter it as you go along, come up with some of your own feels on that. But I'd like to also put that onto a chord, give you an idea what that sounds like when we put it on a chord. I'm going to put it on an A major chord. You can tell it's really got a nice groove to it. And in my final example, what I really wanted to do here with this busy 16th note rhythmic groove is put it into a progression. I'm just going to cover 2 chords, though. It's going to be really simple. My example is going to cover the A major that we were just using for 2 measures, and then we're going to switch over to a G sharp minor chord for 2 measures. So check it out. Here's how it sounds. You can tell that, you know, it's basically a very busy groove. You know, you're going to probably ad-lib with it a little bit. I would doubt that anybody would play that those attacks in the exact same way every single time. But there is a structure there, and you want to basically develop that initially and then start, you know, really getting into the groove with it. And then you're just going to expand on that and get it more loose and more sort of, I guess, comfortable with your own playing style with the overall groove. So, you know, to get these things, you want to be sure to put some decent time in developing things like these more complex grooves, and above all else, learn a number of the hit songs found in this style to really get a good handle on how the grooves are performed using a smooth and steady playing style like this. You know, listening is also a very important element of learning this or any other style, so listen closely to the classic recordings and learn how their rhythm parts are played nice and smooth and how they're performed as a solid rhythm guitar feel. Overall, this is an excellent area of rhythm rhythm guitar to study, since these solid rhythm grooves can be found in the background of hundreds of Motown songs that basically topped the Billboard charts of the 1960s and 70s. Well, when it comes to the early Motown sound, there's no denying that it has a very smooth, laid-back rhythm guitar approach. Whether it's the sustain of those grooves with the half notes, or the chord punches on the second and fourth beats of a measure, or the funky R&B sound of the interesting 16th note groove patterns, those early Motown grooves applied to the harmonies of basic major and minor triads are a fantastic sound from the early days of Motown that catapulted musicians like Marvin Gaye and his hit What's Going On to #1 on the R&B charts, staying there for 5 weeks in a row. So if you've never spent much time studying this rhythm guitar style and these early Motown artists, I guarantee that it's not only excellent practice for your rhythm ability, but it's also an awful lot of fun to jam on as well. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.